We are here with Jenna Elfman and Steven Schneider from Imaginary Mary. Can you guys tell me about the show?
Yeah, so Imaginary Mary is about a career woman, me, who she's very successful but wants nothing to do with relationship or kids because she had a very rough childhood with her parents fighting and divorcing, which led her to create this imaginary friend from a little drawing that helped get her through her life. And then it went away when she became an adult. Cut to present day, I fall in love with this
Disgusting
charming, funny
piece of
man.
garbage.
Even though I don't want to have a relationship, I can't help it. And then, as it
You have
turns
no
out,
options,
I have
let's be
no
honest.
options. As it turns out, he's divorced with 3 kids, which is like kryptonite to me. And in this stressful moment, realizing I have to actually meet his kids and engage with them, my imaginary friend from childhood comes back to help guide me through the process.
Oh, nice. And were you guys ever like fans of Drop Dead Fred when she also gets in that mental breakdown and sees her imaginary friend?
Yeah, I was aware of it. There's a Jimmy Stewart movie. There's Al. I mean, there's like so many variations on a theme, but really that's 3 in the history of entertainment, basically. So I was aware of it, but there was differences in the story, so it didn't have some meaningful impact in terms of me navigating my choices on this show.
Yeah. And what were the struggles of like trying to? Was it like to work with an imaginary character? Was there a person there that you had to work with, or a doll, or anything?
Yeah, so we had a puppet and a puppeteer for rehearsal and figuring out where Mary's moving in this space when we're figuring out the scene, and then they take her away, and I film with nothing, just a memory of where she was. And I have to remember all those dimensional eye lines, lateral eye lines, while also doing the scenes with them and making it funny and not forgetting my lines.
Nice. And tell me about your character.
I play a single father of 3 delightful children, and I have full custody of the kids. And so it was very cool to be able to play a single dad who has custody of the kids. I don't really see that very often.
It's not on TV. It's like,
And
not
so
very often.
from his perspective, he's like, I need a woman here. And not just for himself, but also he wants his kids to have a mom in the picture. And he falls in love with Jenna, her character Alice, which is obviously very easy to do. Who wouldn't? And then it becomes the balance of trying to merge those 2 worlds and hoping that it doesn't implode upon him.
Oh, nice. And is this the characters that you play? Because I remember you in Broad City. So how is that, or that show, working in that show? Will we ever see the
Different sex.
Yeah.
different?
Different sex. in
The
this.
difference is on Broad City, I got pegged on screen. For this show, I got pegged off camera in order to get the part.
And will we ever
Not
see your?
by me.
And will we see that character again on Broad City, or was that the
just
end?
might.
Just might.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, thank you so much, you guys.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure meeting you.
You too. Thanks.
We are here with executive producer Patrick Osborne, who's also worked with Wreck-It Ralph and also Big Hero 6. So how'd you come up with this project?
This came after my short feast at Disney. I was going around meeting different producers around Hollywood trying to see if we could make stuff together, which is what you do when you have a chance. And I met Doug Robinson, who's the other executive producer on this, who's right here. And he and I sat down, and he's like, "What kind of show would you like to make if you were going to make a show?" Which is a great question for producers to ask. And I said, I missed these '80s whimsical family shows with like Alf or like Harry and the Hendersons, or so could we make a weird,
Like the girl that
existential-
was a robot?
Yeah, there's that one. Yeah,
I
there's a
forgot
lot of
what show was
strange
that,
ones,
but yeah.
So it seemed like it would be fun to do something like that. And he introduced me to Adam Goldberg, who was a big fan of that type of stuff too.
Yeah.
And then Adam introduced us to David. And from there, we had a little team. We could start to figure out what the story would be, and I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah. And was it hard creating the imaginary friend? Was it going to be a person or a creature?
It was always going to be a creature. We wanted to do it, full on weird, like Labyrinth or one of those '80s
Yeah.
goblin-y
Little
things, Puffball. So it started there, and then it was going to be really mean at first, and we designed the first character to be a little monster. But then we changed.
Not like how Drop Dead Fred, where he was kind of
Yeah.
super who cares about anybody but himself.
Yeah, he's very selfish. That's for sure. It has a lot of Drop Dead Fred in
Yeah.
it for sure. But we thought about that, and then there's stuff like Bing Bong, Imaginary Friend, and Inside Out.
Oh yeah.
And there was a show called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends a couple years ago that was all about different types. So I thought it was it's out there, this kind of story. But the idea of doing it for a family show where it's a real-looking thing that's in the show was something that we can only do technologically recently.
And like with your guys' approach, like you guys are doing something different where there's a single dad with 3 kids.
Yeah.
Like, what made you guys go through that route? Was it because that's pretty much kind of like the norm nowadays? People.
It's actually David's true story
Oh, yeah?
about his life. So you can ask him a little bit about that.
Wait, he had an imaginary friend?
No, but he's
Still has
a
him?
single dad with 2 kids who met a woman who didn't want kids.
Oh, okay.
Or wasn't exactly excited about the idea.
So you're basically gonna go through her struggles, like
Yeah.
whether she's like in for the relationship and not, and then she has her old time
Yeah,
friend.
but ask him about that and don't tell him that I told you. Just dig it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice to
It was
meet
nice
you.
to meet you.